I mad upon you, Jerusalem, stay in face Jerusalem. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Ashabaf, Bashalawam, the water, Amen. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that give to us the day of Judas, or the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. Ta'alim Ma'a Asherayim Akai. Psalm 121. Anya, Rayam, Ainimya, O, Rayam, Mayan, Yaboa, Izoya, Yaboa, Maya Hawa, Shaisha, Shamayam, Barataza, Ba'a, Jonathan, Gamawat, Wagalia, Yala'a, Yanawam, Joshua Marka, Ana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Joshua Ma, Yashir Allah, Yahweh, Shamaya, Yahweh, Tazalia, Ayel, Yad, Yanim Yad, Yahumam, Ashamash, La'a, La'achaya, Rayurat, La'a, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamoya, Mako, Rai, Yashama, Nabasha, Yahweh, Yashama, Aolakia, Abu Ayah, Maita, Ba'aid, Aiwulam, Ba'asham, Yahushai, the water, Amen.
Psalms 121, the Song of Degrees. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Shema Yashirala. Yo, Israel. Shema Yashirala. Yahweh. Eloheinu. Yahweh. Akkad. Shema Yashirala. Yahweh. Eloheinu. Yahweh. Akkad. Shema Yashirala. Yahweh. Eloheinu. Yahweh. Akkad.
Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Yahweh Tapula. Yahweh's prayer. Abiyanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakovka. Taba'a. Ratazawanka. Haya. Aisha. Barataza. Ka. Bashamayim. Nathanawa. Lakham. Yawam. Za. Wasalaknawa. Kawafnawa. Kasalaknawa. Kawafyanawa. Wala'a. Abiyonawa. Oh. Nasai one. Abo. Aoshainawa. Morai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'atapaurat. Laiwulam. Amen.
Matthew 6:9. After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ashura Matazawaf, the 10 Commandments. La'a, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayim, Alkayim, Alpanya, La'a, Taisha, Laka, Poso, Wala'a, Taibudam, La'a, Talakwaka, Shamwa, Yahawa, Lahaika, Lashua, Zakar, Af, Ayuwam, Ashabaf, Lakudashwa, Kabad, Abiyaka, Wa'amaka, La'a, Watazak, La'a, Tana'ap, La'a, Taganap, La'a, Daina, Shakur, La'a, Takamat, Ko, Ashura, La'aika,
Finally, 5, none of the gods before me. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. The thousands of them that love me, keep my commandments. The name of the Lord thy God is me. Lord, I hold him guilty that his name. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify, as the Lord thy God commanded thee. Secret and do all thy work. The seventh of the Lord thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest, as well as thou. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt. And the Lord thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore the Lord thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day. Honor thy father and thy mother, as the Lord thy God commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, that they go well with thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, neither shalt thou commit adultery, neither shalt thou steal, neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor, neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife, neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen.
Amen. Yeshua, please be seated.
Come on, bro.
Barakata Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ashura Natan Nawa Paya Gapan Tuara Aman, La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Af Yasha Allah. Bless our Yahweh in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it, to Yahweh in the name of Yahushai with Israel. I demand upon you, are you watching them? Send in faith, Jerusalem. Barakata Yahweh, Agado, Akaram, Abiyah, Manawa'a, Aliwan, Malak, Shaw, Shemayim, Warataza, Wako, Dabayim, Kayayim, Wagum, Amashiyak, Mayahawa, Arawanawa, Ahabdam, Apala, Ya'itaza, Yahushai, Zakarnawa, Yahweh, Rataza 1, Aimka, Yasha Allah. I Zornawa. Bana. Wasap. Yasha Allah. Oh. Nanawa. Yam Yun. I thought. Kayawamyum. Makudum. Abukushai. Shalak. Maika Allah. Watas Wadak. Alahayam. La. Maganaw. Wapanaw. Washamo. Alnawa. Baiko. Shalak. Awoka. Shaw. Yahushai. Lannawa. Lalamadnawa. Rabiam. Kakama. Tabawana. Wada Aif. Shaw. The Barka. Basham. Yahushai. The Wada. The Myad. Baiwalam. Aman. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living. And also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahushai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people, Israel. Help us build and gather Israel. Most high, we beg you right now, like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers and angels to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahushai to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahushai, thank you always and forever. So be it. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the Lord. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ashura.
Ashura.
Latananawa. Atarat. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the light to see. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ashura.
Ashura.
Latananawa.
Latananawa.
Awar. La Orat.
Lara Awat.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the ramson to call the people. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ashura.
Ashura.
Natananawa. Quran. Ayo. La Korah. A'ain. Blessed. Okay. Yeshua, please be seated. All right, Shalom, Yasharala.
Shalom.
Welcome to Yasharala Kanas, which stands for the Congregation of Israel, where we believe and teach that the so-called Negroes and Hispanics, the natives scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who came here on cargo slave ships, are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. As it states in Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter, it clearly edify who the real Jews are. And when we compare the people in the world, all nations, we see that we fit the description beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. Today, we gather to celebrate the feast of the day of Judas. All right. So as we go into this feast, we're gonna get some refresher for those of us who may forget what this day is all about. So to introduce myself, I am Ahan Pukwai, and evidently I'll be presiding over the service. So today we're gonna be reading in the book of First Maccabees, the 7th chapter, so we can get the understanding of what this feast is all about. So shalom, brothers and sisters, those listening on the conference line, those watching on the web, welcome once again to Ayashua Kanas. I hope tonight you understand what this feast is about, and also see that it's a feast that we should celebrate. All right. So we know everything started with what they call Alexander the Great, but we don't think that he's Alexander the Great because he can never be great comparing to all the crime or all the wickedness that he executed while he was, alive. So in 323 BC, when his kingdom broke up, he had 3 of his generals who were fighting to take over each other, right, for supremacy. Right, 4 of his generals, Tawada, they were fighting to take over his kingdom. So as they fight, we had our people, when they divided, the what we call the Middle East, they divided it, and we were caught in the middle, right, of the whole fight. So pretty much we were boxed in between the fight that was happening among those generals. So they fought for so many years. So we had the Seleucid and Ptolemies, they fought a great fight, right, so that they can conquer each other. So the former finally won, and Antiochus defeated the Egyptians and incorporated Judah into their empire. So when they incorporated Judah into their empire, a lot of us, as you know it, as it says in Proverbs, let me get it. It says in Proverbs 12:26, and Khan Gabar, you can read it for us, Babu Kushan.
Proverbs 12:26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them.
Right. So we were integrated into that empire. So we start to mimic their custom. At the same time, we were allowed to be autonomous, to keep our laws and follow the Most High's commandments when we first got integrated in that empire. And after that, we had the Romans, right, who came and defeated Antiochus. So when that happens, now we were forced, right, to follow the heathen custom, and it started to get worse and worse to the point where being autonomous now to follow the Most High as we please according to the law, even that, they started to take that away from us. So we had to either fight or fight to preserve, what was ours and what was given to us by the Most High, which is to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, and to follow him, and him only should we serve. And we know whenever that happens, in a fight of two forces, it's either you fight to death or you let them take you over. But in that fight, someone has to take the lead, right? And we had a prominent family who step up the plate and took the leadership and lead the people and to fight against the wickets of the Romans. So this is pretty much a summary of what we are celebrating tonight. And we're celebrating the fact that we had a brother that who stood up among our people, to take the lead role, to fight and to fight against the wrong that were presented before us. All right, so with that summary, we're gonna briefly go into chapter 7, and starting verse 1. Right, this is in the middle of the fight. Right, there's a lot that took place before, but now we're gonna get, into the details in the middle of what was happening. And it says, First Maccabees chapter 7. It says, in the 150th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome and came up with a few men unto a city of the seacoast and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto him. Right, so now the Romans started to fight the Greeks. So we know that a kingdom that is divided among itself cannot stand. And from the kingdom of the so-called whites, the Greeks and the Romans, from the inception, it switches hand from one hand to the next. But all that is through violence. And us, we always get caught in the middle. And some of us side with the wicked, and some of us fight to preserve what we know is righteous and what we know is the only way that the Most High want his people to go, and we fight for that. So now, Demetrius was in front of something that we call when Antiochus is overthrown and killed by Demetrius. So Rome was in front of a situation now where this man right there was gonna declare himself king. So wherefore, in verse 3, it says, wherefore, when he knew it, he said, let me not see their faces. So his host slew them. Now when Demetrius was set up the throne of his kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having Alchemists, who was desirous to be high priest for their captain. So it always happened. Whenever you have an empire, you always have those who want to fit into that empire. And you had our people wanted to fit into that empire. So they sell their own people out just so that they can fit in, right? For what seems to be, what seems to be wealth to them, or what seems to be, something of value to them, right? So they let go their custom, right? What the Most High gave them, so that they can follow the heathen, so they can get crumbs of their tables. So he said, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having Alchemists, who was desirous to be high priest for their captain, because to be a high priest is it's a regarded as a high regarded position, right? Because you have power. Even unto this day, you see you have our people in the in the wherever we scattered throughout the corner of the earth, we join into the Catholic Church, right? And they put us on high in those churches, right? Above the people. But who put them is the Romans, right? And they have the Pope and the Vatican as the chief priest, right? As the high priest, right? Among all of them. So when you go into your own country and you see your people, they feel like they they people should see them in high regards, and that's how the priests, and that's how people look at the priests, in our kingdom. I mean, in our community today, right? Wherever we are throughout the four corners of the earth, you could be in an island. The Catholic Church is the I would say is the highest organization, right, in the country where our people resided. Right? Then you have the Protestants, but the Catholic Church is the highest among all the organizations, right? And they all follow, even though they might be Mason, but they all follow and worship the same gods. Not one God, they all worship many different spirits, right? Whom they call, gods, right? And the Most High said, there's only him we shall serve, right? As his people. So the same custom of the Romans still in effect today in our people. Those who sell out, they follow the customs of the heathen. So now in verse 5, verse 6, it says, and they accused the people to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends and driven us out of our own land. Right? So they went and lied to the king so that they can get the king favor. And they said Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends. So meaning everybody who were friends with the king, Judas was seeking to get rid of them, just so that they can appear, to do something good for the king, so they can be accepted. Verse 7. Now therefore, send some men whom thou trusteth, and let them go and see what havoc he hath made among us, and in the king's land, and let them punish them with all them that ate them. So now they suggested that the king chose men that he trusted to go and witness what's happening, what Judas is doing, and to serve them punishment for going against the king. Now, this is our people, right, doing this. At that point, the Mosai is far from their mind, because they, as we read from the beginning of how they introduced them, they said ungodly men. So if they ungodly men, the Mosai is far from their mindset. They have another God that they listening to, that's stuck in their mind, right? So in verse 8, it says, then the king chose Bacchai, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the flood, and was a great man in the kingdom, and faithful to the king. So the king, of course, he's gonna send somebody that he trusts, right, to get his job done. And it's only, it's reason, right? If you're gonna send somebody to do a job, you gotta send somebody that you trust, one of your top advisors, right? And in that circle, you need people, right, who can see things that you cannot see, sort of like somebody who can see your blind spot, right? So he sent somebody who can see something that he might miss. That's why you have counsel. That's why you have, advisors. The advisors, that's what they're there for. Their job is to see what you can't see, right? And that's why you have advisors in anything that you do. You may be the smartest, you may be smart in one area, you may be the king, but you cannot see everything, right? You're not the Mosai. They're just to show you're not the Mosai. The Mosai can see everything, so there's no blind spot for the Mosai. So the Mosai doesn't need any advisors. The Mosai doesn't need any counselor, somebody to counsel him whether or not the action that he's taking, he's missing the point, or he didn't see this coming. He didn't see that coming. The Mosai cover all corners. He's his own counsel, right? So if you're a king, you have all these people around you as your counsel. That proves to you that you're the king, but yet you're not all powerful. The Mosai is all powerful. The Mosai has all knowing, right? So he sent one of the people that he trusted to get his work, to see what was going on in the information that was brought to him by Alchemists and his people. Verse 9. And him he sent with that wicked alchemist, whom he made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. So everyone wants to be in I would say most ambitious individuals, they want to be in position of power. There's nothing wrong with that, but how you get to the position of power and what type of power that you want to exercise, what form of laws, what will be the foundation of the power that you try to acquire, that's gonna be the deciding factor whether or not you seeking the power is gonna serve you well, Right? Him seeking the power just so that he can be in the king's favor, thinking that the king is his friend. Now he neglected the Mosiah, who is all powerful. Who can decide, what he can put over this kingdom, over this country, over this people. He neglected all of that because now he see the king as the one who is all powerful, who wants to, who can put him in that position. So as they departed, in verse 10,
Say he's going to a middleman instead of going to the source.
That's all right. You can call it.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 21. Daniel chapter 2, in verse 21, it reads, "And he changeth the times and seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding."
Right. Gone. So that was on Daniel 2:21, linked with 1 Maccabees 7, verse 9. So now the king gave them an instruction. They departed to go execute. All right, so they go to execute based on the information brought to them by Archimus and the people who accompanied him. So they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judas and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully. So instead of going to Judas Maccabeus and start a fight, they pretty much give him a bait. So they sent messengers to speak to him deceitfully, try to deceive him, right? Before they can, before they can take him over, they go in a deceitful manner, sort of like the same way they always do it, right? And we see the evidence of it all throughout this empire that we're in right now, which is an extension of the Roman Empire. Right? We see the evidence of how deceitful, right, those in power right now. As it says, the wicked, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So we cannot expect the wicked to act anything other than with deceit. So it says, so they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judas and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully. But they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power. So now it's about perception of what the person is saying versus what he's doing. So if it's all peace, why do you have all these people ready to fight, all those men of war ready to fight? So there's a difference between what you say and your action. So Judas was a general. He strategized. keep in mind, he wasn't fighting with physical might, but more so with the power of the Most High and understanding that the Most High gave him, right, to lead the people. Because most fight, they win. They win the fight before it even start. You don't go to war if you already perceive that there's no way you're gonna win, right? So he put two and two together. He realized this can't, what they telling me versus what I'm seeing right now, I can't trust it, right? So in verse 11, it says, but they gave, verse 12 actually, it says, then they did there assemble unto Alchemists and Bacchides a company of scribes to require justice, right? Because in a game of power, you got to do what you got to do, right, to win. Especially, you know, the wicked. The wicked, they have no boundaries when it comes to trying to take over, you know, one city or trying to take over a country. So they'll use all kinds of tricks in the book without regards to any laws, right? They'll break their own laws that they create, right? So with that kind of attitude, you can't, you can't just go to war and not, having Mossad on your side, because we got one law we gotta follow, but with them, they have many other tricks that they're gonna go, just try to take you over, right? Even their own treaties that they're gonna sign with you, they're gonna break it, right? So in verse 12, then did there assemble unto Alchemists and Bacchides a company of scribes to require justice. Now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them, right? So when you look at the people, the people are not seeing things the same way the general is seeing things. So you have the people, you have the general, right? And you have the people of war, your men. They don't see things the way you see it. So that's why having someone who can take charge and make decision, right, to empower the people, right, even in the face of all the defeat or the perception of defeat, he's able to, rally up the troops behind him and help them gain confidence, right? Even when the odds seems, to be against them, right? So this is the kind of leader that Judas was, right? But you still have other people who will seek peace. But I mean, who wouldn't want peace, right? In anything, everybody wants peace. Nobody really want, to go fight fight wars. But in a game of power, there's no such thing as peace, right? It's either I take you over or you take me over, right? And especially here today, there's no such thing as peace, and there will never be peace as long as we have, the nation of Esau around, right? There will never be peace until Yahushua makes his second coming and then abolish all, war. Because until then, there's always going to be fight, and there's always going to be a struggle for power, right? So for one nation to take over the next nation, right? Until Yahushua comes and put an end to it, right? Because no country wants to be subservient to another country, and no one nation wants to be subject to another nation, unless there's a power that established himself as all powerful, and there's none right now on this earth. It's only, the kingdom fighting against kingdom. And that power is Yahushua's coming, to establish his kingdom once and for all. And he will have the power of the Most High with him, right, where no one can fight him or raise arm against him. But until then, there's always going to be friction. There's always going to be fight, right? And Esau is not willing to give up, right, his power, because he's already been addicted to it, and he will not give it up, right? He will not give up what he has accumulated over time, over the years, over generations. So he's not gonna give it up, and it only makes sense. It only makes sense if it was up to him to continue, as we know it. It says it's set in their mind that their generation will continue forever, and it only makes sense. Who wouldn't want that? But the Most High will put an end to it, because the way the Most High set things up and the way they set their kingdoms up is through unrighteous dealings, and unrighteous dealings, cannot fight righteous, dealings, right? Only when righteousness is established will you have peace. But until righteousness is established, there will never be peace on this earth. There's always going to be killings and friction against one people or the next, right? So, continue on. It says, now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them. For said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with this army, and he will do us no wrong. Right? It says, for said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with this army, and he will do us no wrong. So now, the best way to get your people is through your people, right? The best way to get your people is through your people. So he saw a strategy from generation he learned, and the same strategy that he's been using seem to be working for him from generation to generation. So they learn our ways, right? The best way to get the people is to mirror them and pretend like you are like them, right? Get into their culture, right? Get into the way they do things, right? Fit in, to their lifestyle. But you're doing that, and it's become very, very easy because you choose to do that, right? You choose to do it because you see ways of gaining power over those people, but they're not your people. But the way to get them is to be like them, or if anything, get somebody in their nation that's already like them, and then manipulate him, and then so you can get information from him to bring to you, and then that's it. The game is over, right? So they get our people to do their dirty work, right? Manipulate them. And it's easy because once your people believe in them, so it's easy for our people to be manipulated, right? Right? And all through our history, it's happening. It's like remove yourself from the picture and then train them to self-destruct, right? To do your bid, right? And then you behind the scene and nobody see that it's you that's pulling the string, right? So that's the way these people learn to do, to do their dirty work, to do their dirty work through our own people. And that's the best strategy, right? It says, so he spake unto them peaceably and swear unto them, saying, we will procure the arm neither of you nor your friends, right? So in that case, it's very dangerous. Sometimes you got to watch out for your own people more than you watch out for Esau. I mean, sad to say, but that's the reality of it, because your people can easily we give up control of ourselves, we can easily manipulate it. Once we stop believing in the Most High, we got to believe in something. It's either you believe in the Most High, you're gonna be believing in something. Otherwise, life with you have no sense. You got to believe in something, right? And the way to accomplish things is you got to be believing in what you do. And Esau has accomplished that through manipulating us to give up the Most High. And then once we give up the Most High, you got to bounce back to him, because he seems to have all the resources, especially the physical things that we need, right, for survival. So he seems to have these kind of things, right, the physical things that people need. So now we cater more to the physical because he's all physical, right, and he get us to think more on a physical level rather than on the spiritual level. And if I happen to think on a spiritual level, it has to be under his bidding once we give up the Most High. So he'll give us Christianity, he'll give us all types of religion. At the end of the day, you're still following him, right? You're still following his ideology. So no matter how good it may sound, you're still following him, right? Because the Most High's way is straight and straightforward, straight. But his way, you could do it Christianity way, you can do it Buddhist way, you can do it Allah's way, you can do it through Pentecostal way, you can do it through all kinds of ways. But all these ways that we are following, that's his way. So either way, we done. We still doing Satan's bidding, right? And we have Esau there as prince, pulling the strings. So, Nabia.
You just wanted to read these two things in what you're saying, because you're right. You got to believe in something. Even oppression is a belief system, called a religion. This is Psalm 62 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 62 and 10 reads, Psalm 62, verse 10, trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them.
Con.
And then the other verse I want to read, Isaiah chapter 30, 12 and 13. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 12. It reads, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. 13.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
On. So if it wasn't for the Most High and not the rate at the speed that Esau is going, us as a people, we would have been finished. Thank be the Most High, by Hashem Yahushua. That's why we still here. Let's go to Ezekiel 28 and 3. Ezekiel chapter 28 in verse 3. Behold, thou art they add on to it, they add on to it, add on their wickedness. Right? They add on to their wickedness. From generation to generation, they add to their invention, right? To their science, to their studies.
Eligible quiet.
Kahan?
You're going off and back and forth. Back on now, but you keep going back and forth online.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it might be the internet.
Might be modern technology. Who knows?
Right. So now, not only they have developed technology, they understand, how, the human body operates, how your brain function, right? That's as much as far as they go, where your feelings come from. If you do this, why you do this, why you do that, right? So they have learned so much to the point where if they want to do certain things, and the Most High will not let them do things that he wouldn't want them to do, but they would go the extra mile just to further, their study and try to be wise as they can, just to take over. But that's not gonna happen. All right. So verse 15. So he spake unto them peaceably, and the arm neither of you nor your friends. Whereupon they believe him. Howbeit he took of them 70 men and slew them in one day, according to the word which he wrote. Right. So he lured them in, right, to the point where they were already defeated. Then the casualty is, is secondhand. He pretty much beat them in the head first, and then he get rid of their bodies. Right? Get rid of the body afterward. But he beat them in the head, beat them to accept, the whatever, you know, peaceable word, the way he put it, he get them to accept it, and they were defeated. Right? When they were killed, it was just like casualty. They were just casualty, but they were defeated beforehand. Just like our people today, we are defeated. We walking out there in the street, but we walking zombies. Right? We walking zombies. And the only reason why, you know, they're not doing like mass killing of us is because even through us being zombies, we still, you know, make money for them. Right? Right. So we walking zombies, but we still make money for them. Right? We make money through going to jail, locked up. Right? Ways to, you know, give us free this, free that, so you can still, you know, support the system, keep this economic system going. Right? The doctors still make money. Right? We have the churches keep, you know, telling you, come to my church, your life will change. You know? So even to that, it's because of the power of the Most High, we still alive physically. But to them, we're just walking zombies. We not even count. We not even count. We don't even count. Right? So in verse 17, the flesh of thy saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. Right? Even here today, you have human rights groups, right? You have human rights groups who make money off of that too. So that's why they can do a mass killing the way they would want to do a mass killing here, because human rights group make money off of it. You know, organization form on that. So it's even in our distress, it's all business, right? But back then, we weren't so desensitized, you know, to you know, killing us. So they kill us in the street like this because there was no human rights, you know, that would rise up against them, human rights and human rights violation. Why are you killing people, mass murder? So right now, that's what they doing in Syria. They doing the same exact thing, killing people in mass, but blaming the people over there, right? What they cannot exercise here, they exercise it overseas in other countries, right? They exercise in other countries in other forms, and then they blame the government of that country for their own killing, so they can, you know, implement what they want in your country, right? Right? Wherefore, the fear and dread of them fell upon all the apostles, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them. Here you go. Wherefore, the fear and dread of them fell upon all the people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them. So how do you fight a power like that? They have no truth, no righteousness in them. It's all wickedness. So our people were amazed at how wicked these people were after they spoke peaceably, and they get the people on their side, and then they kill them. Right? This is the nation that we are up against as a people. So you either join them, or you follow the Most High. Because you join them, they're gonna kill you anyway. So you're gonna lose. You join them trying to be buddy with them, they don't like you. They, you know, that's the way they were made. That's the way the Most High created them. A fierce enemy. Right? So we got to go right back to the Most High if you want to live. right? After this, we moved Bacchides from Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bezeth, where he sent and took many of the men that had forsaken him, and certain of the people also. And when he had slain them, he cast them into the great pit. Then committed he the country to Archimus, and left with him a power to aid him. So Bacchai went to the king. So now, after he pretty much did what he had to do, he set fear in the people's heart, right? He made a point, and then he left, and he put Archimus into power. So in the people's head, if you one day thinking you're gonna go against Archimus, you see what just happened? We're gonna come back and do the same thing again. Do you want that to happen? What's happening in the regular people's mind? I don't want that to happen. People want peace. You don't want to constantly be in that war, fighting and bloodshed, right? And your family's being destroyed. So the people just calm down and let Archimus, do its thing. So you gotta set fear. You gotta rule them by fear, right? Then committed he the country to Archimus, and left with him a power to aid him. So Bacchai went to the king, verse 21. But Archimus contended for the high priesthood, and unto him we sorted all such as trouble the people, who after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel. So now, now you have an oppressive priesthood with all their comrade oppressing the people, right? So you have an oppressive group, ruling over our people now, right? They do whatever they want to our people, because if you can turn your back from the Most High, what else wouldn't you do? If you're supposed to be a high priest and you turn your back from the Most High, what else can people expect from you? You have no regards to the Most High. Why would you have regard to your fellow brothers and sisters? You have no regard to the Most High. So it should be expected that you can do whatever. So you've become a dangerous person, right? If the first thing you turn your back away from the Most High, people shouldn't expect anything else from you. Because if you knew the Most High is all powerful, but you still have the audacity to turn back against him, then what else? You'll kill your own mother, you'll kill your own father, you kill your own kids, you'll kill your own brother, your own sister. Because at that point, you become ruthless, right? So this was him. And unto him resorted all such as troubled the people, who after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel. Now when Judah saw all the mischief that Archimus and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, he went out into all the coasts of Judea round about, and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country. So now Judas was the opposite force now, right? He's still fighting to preserve what he believed is right, because that's the only way he would fight. Again, you got to believe in something. So he believed in the Most High to the point where he acted on his belief, right? He knew whatever the Most High said that he would do for us in the future, he would do it. So he believed in it. So his belief system caused him to have faith enough to act on it, right? And that's what happened with a lot of people today. They say they believe in the Most High. Romans 10 and 2, they have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So now they have that zeal, but they don't have the faith to do the work. They believe, but they don't have the belief system is not strong enough, to propel them, to do the work. Faith without work is dead, right? So they profess with their lips, but their mind is far from the Most High, right? It says,
We're even above the heathen. Jeremiah chapter 5. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. Now, we're down to 29. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26 to link with verse 23. It reads, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait. As he that setteth snares, they set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxen fat, they shine. Yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
Right.
They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge."
Right. So even though we might have compassion for our brothers, but be watchful. Once you have a brother or sister that knows about the Most High, turn away from the Most High, be careful, because if he turn away from the Most High, he will do almost anything. Don't put anything, at that point, don't put anything past him. Because at that point, he doesn't regard the Most High. Nothing means anything to him. Right? We at First Maccabees chapter 7, and now we at verse what verse we on right now? 24. We at 24. We just read Jeremiah 5:26 to link with verse 23. I on the bottom. Right.
Verse 29. "Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?"
Done.
So, Alchemists and boys are doing just what Jeremiah wrote.
Yep. So our deed are past the deed of the wicked. So which means the only way for that to happen, you know about the Most High, and you still don't care, and you still do what you gotta do. You still just keep doing wicked. So it just surpassed the deed of the wicked. At that point, watch out. Yeah, you gotta watch them. It's like the Most High said, once you know this and then you go back, it's like a dog going to his vomit. This is a descriptive way to put it there to show how bad that person has become. As far as mindset, because his mind, he allowed his mind to be twisted with some evil spirit, to cause him to even forget what he learned from the Most High. But at that point, he had some heavy manipulation in his mind.
Smith was talking about that in Matthew. We were reading it about how blaspheming Christ can be forgiven, how blaspheming the Holy Spirit can be forgiven. Hear about Christ, you don't know. You say, "Oh, that's nonsense. He's a charlatan." He's just somebody. He cast out devils by the prince of devils. Right. So when you're in the truth, you blaspheme the Holy Ghost, which you already know, can't be forgiven. Spirit is showing you what this is.
Right.
Dangerous ground.
Go on. Now we at verse 24. It says, he went out unto all the coasts. Actually, verse 25. Verse 25. On the other side, when Alchemist saw that Judas and his company had gotten the upper hand and knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could. So he went back to his middleman again. So yeah, for him to do that, so you really gotta have trust in that man that he can come back and subside, you know, Judas. Right? And he knew he could not abide his force. Why? He knew what Judas was on. Judas was walking according to the law of the Most High. But he knew about the law of the Most High. Right? He went and complained to the king, right, to come and combat Judas. So you see the man just lost his mind. Right. By any means necessary.
Who visits being high priest is the Most High has an appointment. And he's supposed to be of the sons of Aaron too, just like Judas.
Yeah, so at that point you don't believe in that. You don't believe in the Most High and all that stuff.
Wow. He's done dishonor to his heritage.
Yeah. So by their force he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could. So he said the worst thing that he could. So he lied. He lied. So he assassinated Judas' character. So he killed Judas in front of the king. All day he got to do now. So he got to kill Judas' image, Judas' character in front of the king, so the king can raise, you know, his forces to make sure that he get rid of Judas. And our people, very good at that. Very, very good at that. Assassinate your character, very good at that. You have people do a whole shows just assassinate another brother character. You see it. Assassinate another brother. Say things that you wouldn't imagine they would say, like they know. And when they say it, if you're not, you know, if you don't have reason, you believe it, and that's the whole point. The whole point is to believe that the person did this, the person did that. To now change your perspective on how you view the person. Right? So it's not when you kill somebody physically, you kill them. Right? You can kill somebody with words that you say. Right? So the word that you're saying, they bullets. Right?
James, greater matter. Greater matter, a little fire kindled, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like a small member of the body.
Right. Right. So the physical act is already premeditated. You get rid of the body after you already conceive all the wickedness that you were gonna do. Right? And sometimes people looking at the crime first before looking at the you know, where it started. Right? So he went to the king. Jeremiah 3 and 5.
I'll read it. Jeremiah 3 and 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts of great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
Yep.
It says in 6, And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on nature the course of nature. Setteth on fire the course of nature. It is set on fire of hell.
Right.
Like we were saying, what words can do.
Now let's see what the king did after he went and complained. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bear deadly hate unto Israel. So now, after all these words, he convinced. So he had to bring somebody that have deadly hate against Israel. Right? Deadly hate against Israel. With commandment to destroy the people. A commandment to destroy the people. Right? So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force, and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, so it's always the same tactic, because it works. It works. Maybe scientifically they may have not had known back then. They just knew to trial and error based on experience. Every time they do it, it works, so why not do it? Because that's the way everybody do things. People do things because they have some sort of satisfaction from it. And that's why you got when you do something. That's why sometimes you wonder, why so and so do this? They get some satisfaction from it. And because they did not get caught doing it, and the satisfaction is there, and it's quick. They get that satisfaction and it goes away. So now they remember the satisfaction they get from it, they do it again to get that satisfaction. Just like a dope addict. Right? So the feeling of knowing that you had accomplished that and it works, they're gonna continue to do it again. Even though in the eyes of the Most High or in the eyes of men, it's the wrong thing to do. But in their mind, they get some satisfaction until they weigh and balance the consequences of getting caught. Now they may make a decision not to do it by balancing the consequence when they get caught, what they got. So now they may say, you know what, I ain't gonna do it because I don't want to experience that pain. So they weigh the pain versus the feeling of satisfaction to weigh and balance whether they should do it or not.
When they get caught by men, sorry.
Right.
Cry or repent then, not because they killed somebody, because they got caught.
Because they got caught. Because they love, that's why they do it in the first place, because they kept getting satisfaction. That's why people, smoke. Right? That's why people, do all these things, because, right, it's the sense of satisfaction. And hence, it's like a check mark. Whenever you don't get caught, you get a check mark. Man, done. So that's why you see all these people, they keep doing wickedness, stealing from the corporate people. Then they keep getting they keep getting that satisfaction, and they keep doing it. Because they know the consequences is just they give a pat on their head and that's it, but they got away with it. So they kept doing it. Because sentence against the wicked is not executed speedily, so it's set in their mind to keep doing it. But the filling is a chemically reaction. So they understood that based on experience, but Esau, as it developed, he started to know why these things, happen. So they tried again. It says, so Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Albeit the enemy were prepared to take away Judas by violence, because it worked before. So we're gonna try a different version of it. We may say a different kind of lie, but we may twist it a different way. But we're gonna use the same tactic because it worked before. Whatever that we gotta tweak to make it more perfect this time, right? Boom, that's what we're gonna do. But that tactic worked because we did it before, and it works. Right? So they're gonna continue on what improve on what's working. Gun. So let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Peaceably. Albeit the enemy were prepared to take away Judas by violence, which thing after it was known to Judas, to wit, that he came unto him with deceit. He was so afraid of him and would see his face no more. Because what happened is that same dopamine system, right? That we're talking about here in the chemical in our system. We have now another version of it, right? There's another version of it. I forgot how you call it. When you come in and you greet somebody, the feeling of peace, it's kind of like it's kind of like contagious. It's hard to refuse that. If somebody come on in peace, even though it might be so violent, you know him as a violent person, but when he come in peace, it's contagious. You might receive him in peace as well. Right? But you have to make up your mind from the beginning that you're not gonna let that happen, no matter what. You either not gonna meet with him, that's it. Right? So you don't fall into the trap. Right? Serotonin, that's how you call it. Serotonin. The serotonin is the feeling of it's kind of like the leadership to the dopamine, right? The serotonin, pretty much, it's like the leadership, chemical reaction. It's the chemical, leadership. So it's trying to rule over the dopamine in your endorphin, right?
Serotonin goes against the dopamine?
No, it enhances it. Right? It enhances it. It's like the feelings of accomplishment. Feelings of accomplishment and pop your collar, give you that ego. Right? Once you accomplish something, that's the like when you let's say you make your parent proud, right? That's the serotonin. When you make your parent proud, you get a degree and they call your name out in the crowd and you come out with your chest, you feel like you accomplished something. All that is chemical reaction, right? It says verse 31, right? Verse 31 says, Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judah besides Kapha Salama. So now, either way, when they find you out, and that's exactly what you came for, to save face, he got to fight. You got to do something, because at that point, it's either Judah's gonna get him or he's gonna get Judah. Right. So at that point, he just gotta give what he got. Right. After this,
that's kind of like it's disadvantage of the elements.
Right. Verse 32. Where there were slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. Right? So they fled, and 5,000 men, and the rest fled. 5,000 men fell, and the rest fled. After this, went Nicanor up to Mount Sion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably, and to slew him, and to show him the burnt sacrifice that was offered to the king. But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spake proudly, because at that point he's enraged. He's enraged, but our priests, they scared. Try to appease to him, because they fear of him, right? But he didn't care. He mocked them. And listen to what he said in verse 33. Verse 34. Verse 35, he says, and swear in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his host be now delivered into my hands, if ever I come again in safety, I will burn up this house. And with that, he went out in great rage. So now he's trying to get Judah through the influence of the rest of the priests. At least, let me see if at least one of them can convince Judah to stop, right? Or to do something, to Judah without him having to do it, right? So he pretty much put a seed in their mind that he's gonna come, right? But try to influence somehow, some way to get rid of Judas, to get Judas people. To get our people to do his dirty job by manipulating them, right? Through fear. Verse 36. Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, thou, O Lord, did choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. Right? Be avenged of this man and his hosts, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemy, and suffer them not to continue any longer. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bethron, where an host out of Syria met him. But Judas pitched in Adasa with 3,000 men. And there he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed thy angel, went out and smote 185,000 of them, even so destroyed thou this host before us this day. Right? So Judas understood where the power of destroying those people come from. So he made sure that he went to the source, right, to petition and to ask, to ask favor of the Most High to make him win, because his winning was not for him, but he was for righteousness' sake. That's what his winning was all about. It was not about him trying to get fame, right? So that he can be known all throughout as the hero of this whole thing. He was doing it because his belief system tell him that's the right thing to do, and that's what he did. Right? So he was fighting for the right thing, for his people to practice what the Most High set for them to practice, right? To not worship other gods, which the Romans were trying to force them, to do, right? So now it says,
Well, 41, we actually just read this moment to Maccabees. 2 Kings chapter 19, 35 to 37.
19.
2 Kings chapter 19, 35 to 37. And also 2 Chronicles 32, 21 to 23. Going into history about how Mosai took out Sennacherib when Hezekiah was king.
Gone.
Because Hezekiah, he trusted in the Lord.
Gone. So when you look at it, by reading this right now, and the Most High give us the spirit of understanding to understand the nature of these people today living here, that we have, we gotta cohabitate with. So this is lesson for us to know how to live while we're waiting for Yahushua to come in. So by reading this, we're getting the understanding of these people, how they are, how they operate. Right? Some might see it as ancient history, right? But guess what? We learn it, the spirit never changes. Right? The spirit that was there before is the same spirit that is here.
Wow.
Right? Shalom. Con. So when we read this, we put it in perspective. Thank the Most High that we understand who these people are today. We put two and two together. Con.
What did Navian say? 2 Chronicles what?
It was 2 Kings 19:35 and 2 Chronicles 21:23.
2 Chronicles chapter 32.
Yeah, 2 Chronicles chapter 32.
Verse 21 to 23.
Con.
Oh, 30.
32.
What was it? 32.
Con. 21 to 23.
21 to 23. The water.
Con. So that's why the Most High said he sent us in the midst of, wolves, right? So be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So we getting the nature of this nation Esau right there. Right? Thank the Most High we can read this and get the understanding. So when you go out there, you know who's who. So you know how to navigate. Right? While you're waiting for Yahushua to come in, you do what you got to do. Right? So that's what this is supposed to be for us. Right? To learn this and understand what these people is all about. And never trust them. Right? You deal, but watch how you deal. Because no matter what, you're gonna make decisions, you're gonna have to deal with people, with these people. Right? You're gonna have to deal with them because they all around, right? So we scattered in the midst of them. So you cannot separate them right now. So the goal is to learn this and then know how to proceed from here. So in verse 43, it says, so the 13th day of the month, Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle. 44. Now when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled. Then they pursued after them a day's journey from Adasa unto Gezerah, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets. Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about, and closed them in, so that they, turning back upon them that pursued them, were all slain with the sword, and not one of them was left. Afterward they took the spoils and the prey, and smote off Nicanor's head in his right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away, and hanged them up towards Jerusalem. For this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being 13th of Adar. Thus the land of Judah was in rest a little while. He says we were at rest a little while. And that's exactly what's happening from time to time. We've been at rest for a little while. From time to time, you're going to be at rest. There will never be peace. There's always going to be war. But from time to time, we're going to have some period of peace. But don't ever get comfortable until Yahushua makes his second coming. Right? No matter how tempting it may be to get comfortable, always keep your mind, occupied, doing things, activities that's going to keep you focused, right? That's going to keep you focused on the kingdom, right? So you can get the everlasting peace that really matters. So a little while, we're going to get that, but it's not going to be for long where we get comfortable and think that, forget about Yahushua's coming, right? Because that's when we're going to have that peace, that everlasting peace. So every time we find ourselves getting too comfortable in something, and we tend to forget about the Most High, think that you're gonna get hit with little something just to wake you up. So wake up, tapping, wake up, and you get a little tapping, so you wake up. That tapping is the life problems, that thing that you like so much. That's that's distracting you from keeping your focus. Is gonna go away, or something gonna happen when you wake up. It's like, okay, that's a wake up call right there. I gotta keep my eyes focused, laser beam focus. Got the laser beam focus on the Most High, and Yahushua is coming. But enjoy little things here and there, but don't ever lose sight. You gotta go to work. You do your work. You gotta do what you gotta do, because you gotta live in this kingdom. You gotta live until Yahushua comes back. You have a family you gotta feed. You gotta feed the family. You gotta do what you gotta do, but never lose focus. All right. So that's why we celebrate this day. This day has meaning to it, and everything that the Most High tells us to do, He wants us to learn from it. So this is strategy that the Esau used, right, to get to us, and they do it. This tactics is being done every day, and right now it's being perfected because he is not being punished for his wicked deed. So he pretty much perfecting his wickedness to a T. So just imagine that. Just imagine that his wickedness is perfected to a T. like we were talking about just now, because sentence is not executed. So in his mind, he get the satisfaction to continue to do it. To the point where it's like, man, this guy's, man, I'm getting away with this. Where's God in all of this? If there's God, I gotta be God, and I gotta meet him. If I can do all of this right there, I gotta meet that God you're talking about. So after they get all of this thing, they get so entrenched in it. Now their mindset is to get rid of Yahushua, because Yahushua come in, wage war against them, because they're about to lose everything that they think they can keep forever. All right, so 11:15. I hope we get the gist of the day of Judas, and we honoring a leader that fought for righteousness, right? Just as Yahushua, fought and died for us. So he was pretty much doing exactly what Yahushua has done, fighting for the right of our people. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The water for the class. Shalom Israel. And endure Israel, no matter what. Endure.
Khan. The Shalom. Ayan the bar. Blessed be the Most High. Can be here. That's it. Now continue on. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Enjoy the day. And like the brother said, keep enduring, keep fighting, keep pushing. We're not fighting against Esau, we're fighting wickedness in high places. Esau, even though we talk about, Esau is peanuts. You gotta find, fight wickedness in high places. Spiritual demons and stalking in our head, right? So that's what we gotta fight the most. But Esau is this little peanut. He's just there, pulling strings, but he's not it. All right. So and keep fighting, keep the Most High's in mind, and knowing sometimes you might fall, but get right back on track, because that's the key. The key is, there's never a straight. You got to keep making adjustments. Keep making adjustments until we get to the kingdom. And whenever we fall, ask the Most High for strength, right, to carry on. Whatever happened, keep moving, keep following the law, statutes, and commandments the best of your ability, given the understanding that we have, and let's keep doing it. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Stay tuned for the closing prayer. Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Natanawa, Pa Yagapantuara Amun, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Af Yasha Allah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that give to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, with Israel. I model upon you, are Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. Ending prayer. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Abakushai,
Abakushai,
Shemai,
Shema,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Aita,
Aita,
Yamyan,
Yam,
Aita,
Aita,
Shalak,
Shalak,
Micah Allah,
Micah Allah,
Walahayim,
Wala Alahai,
Batazudakim,
Tasmadaki,
Shemo Ayah,
Shema Ayah,
Barak,
Barak,
Wapa,
Rakat,
Magun,
Magan,
Wakaziyak,
Wakaziyat,
Bunya,
Banya,
Yasha Allah,
Yasha Allah,
Washalak,
Washalak,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Kakama,
Kakama,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
the Ai,
the Ai,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Bayana,
Bayana,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Sablanwa,
Sabalanwa,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Amawan,
Amawan,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Aqua,
Aqua,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Ahabiam,
Habian,
Rabiam,
Rabian,
Agana,
Haganah,
Waknaya,
Rakanaya,
Wasalat,
Wasalat,
Ko,
Ko,
Katayimna,
Katayamna,
La Akim,
La'akim,
Wayasha Allah,
Yasha Allah,
Tamyad,
Tamyad,
Waiwulam,
Waiwalam,
Ba'asham,
Ba'asham,
Yahushai,
Yahawasham,
the water,
Wa'alam,
Amun.
Na'aman,
English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please listen to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous powers and angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel, and send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive us all our sins for the brothers and sisters in Israel. Most High, we beg you, for the brothers and sisters in Israel, always and far, in the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Four corners prayer. Yahweh, Ba'ashem. Four corners prayer. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushah,
Barak Noah,
Baraknawa,
Wayasha Allah,
Yasha Allah,
Bashi Zapayim,
Wabathi Sapar,
Shema,
Shema,
Yashir Allah,
Yasha Allah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Allah Hayanawa,
Hayanawa,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Achad.
Achad.
All right, gonna do prayer for the food. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
got a wall,
Gadawo,
Bahasham,
Ba'ashem,
Adawanya,
Adawanya,
Yahushai,
Yahushah,
Babakushai,
Bahushah,
Barak,
Barak,
Ma'ako,
Ma'ako,
Yanawa,
Yanawa,
Shaddai,
Shaddai,
your wife Yanawa, Shaddai, your wife, Shaddai, your wife Yanawa, Yayan, yeah, Shaddai wife Yanawa, Shaddai wife Yanawa, Yayan, right. Shaddai wife
Shaddai wife,
Yanawa,
Yanawa,
Yayan,
Yayan,
Yanawa,
Yanawa,
Lacham,
Lacham,
Yanawa,
Yanawa,
Shakar, Shakara,
Shakara,
Yanawa,
Yanawa,
Hayurak,
Hayurak,
Hayuwam,
Hayuwam,
Hayuwam Yahuda.
Hayuwam, Yahawada,
Did I say? Bahasham,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushah,
the water,
the water,
Aman.
Aman.
All right, Shalom, brothers and sisters. All right, have a great night and enjoy the feast of the day of Judas.
Shalom.
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 Shalom.